Hi. Today on the couch, we have Ben Revill, who is the private equity lead at Avanade. Hi, Ben.
Hello, James.
I wanted to ask you some questions around private equity. Private equity is always about finding an edge in value creation. Where are you seeing Microsoft technology play a role in helping private equity firms accelerate returns in financial services?
Well, we're seeing it at two levels. So we're firstly seeing it with the way Microsoft tech can be used inside the PE firm itself, and then also within their own individual portfolio companies. So in the PE firms themselves, there is always this focus on moving through the deals in a really efficient manner, because firms are looking at a lot of different investment opportunities every year. They're doing a lot of research and due diligence on all of those different potential opportunities every year. They're also then nurturing them, adding value to those businesses, and then maybe looking to exit from them or move on to a further transaction, maybe a further round of investment. So there's several points in the life cycle of dealing with a firm where just the activities of the private equity business need to be really efficiently run. And at the moment, there are a number of different systems out there that can support parts of the processes. So if you looked at, say, either deal making, deal flow, as a lot of firms call it, or if you're looking at raising funds with your investors, so looking at your investor relations and raising capital that you're going to be then investing. There's a lot of areas in both sides of the business, if you like, where there's opportunity for efficiency improvements. Very often they can be around things like data. Where is the data at the moment? So if you're looking at an individual deal, there's a lot of documents and a lot of data that you need to pull together as you're doing the due diligence on those deals. And then there's a lot of collaboration that happens. And a lot of Microsoft tools have been improving that ability to collaborate. But there's actually also, it's very fragmented. People have a lot of choices, the different tools that they use. So when we go into a firm these days, we're tending to see lots of different teams doing different things without any kind of IT strategy around the whole thing. So there's data all over the place in different forms and formats.
Absolutely. And obviously a lot of firms talk about digital transformation, but how does Avanade specifically help private equity investors translate Microsoft's capabilities into measured impact?
Well, it's different every time. So there are different scenarios with what level of technology investment has taken place and where that investment might be in its maturity. So as I was describing before, when a firm is looking to either dispose of or exit from that investment, there will be certain things they need to have in place before they do that. So it may be that the new investors coming in will be expecting a level of sophistication and maturity with how they're using the latest technology. And one of the things we offer, a quite frequent conversation we're having these days with private equity firms, is can you come in and address this specific need that we have with a company we've bought, and we've got a challenge that is just too difficult to address ourselves. It may be for a variety of reasons. It could be geographically spread, multiple offices, locations, different teams, different technology being used. And there are not many systems integrators around with the right suite of technologies that can run the whole program of transformation for that firm. So that actually there's one engagement we're doing at the moment, which is looking at how we can help a multinational firm actually consolidate and modernize its front office applications that it's using, because although they've done many things in increasing and creating value within that business, one of the things that have been really hard to do, because of this is a multinational company with teams all over the world, is and teams speaking different languages, investing in different technologies over time, bringing all of that into one level playing field, and dealing with a very simple thing like security. Because if you don't have the technology landscape consistent across an organization, a multinational organization, you're much more vulnerable to security challenges, cyber attacks, and so on and so forth. And of course, a new investor will be wanting to make sure, I want to make sure I'm buying an investment here that is resilient.
Absolutely. Yeah, the infrastructure is clearly pivotal. So when you advise PE clients, what differentiates Avanade from other consulting firms?
Well, I think taking that theme a bit further, it's the ability for us to take the consultative approach. You know, we have an advisory arm, for example. We have an advisory team, so we can come in and do the analysis, look at things like infrastructure, security, applications, ERP, financial management systems, integrations, all of the different things that you would be thinking of in terms of technology. We're able to actually engage in a proper consulting exercise and identify which are the most urgently needed areas of investment, or some might be, you know, causing vulnerability for firms, or which are going to be the ones that give the greatest competitive advantage. And we have that combination of the consulting and advisory piece that we can do to help build the right business case, make the right justification for identifying, you know, which are the highest value areas of impact, which are the most appropriate investments to make in technology to prepare this particular investment for exit, which are going to pass due diligence and so on and so forth. And then also to actually execute on that as well. And you know, we're uniquely positioned in the variety of teams and skills we can offer across the board, and different ways of delivering and implementing, either with onshore, nearshore, or offshore teams that will execute a program over time. I've never, over 20 years in my career, I've never worked in a business where the firm is so committed to delivering and owning that whole program and making sure we get our customer from the start through to successful go live in a stable manner and ongoing stable support for the business afterwards. And I think that's a very attractive proposition for a PE firm, because they want to be able to very often just outsource the dealing of that problem and make sure that the problem's going to be resolved, you know, to the high standards that they will need, and then that gives them that value that they need to then be able to exit that investment.
Thank you so much for your time, Ben. I'm sure everyone has appreciated that overview.
Pleasure, James, as always.
Next, we'll be hearing from our other solution leads. Stay tuned.